So by now you've heard that there have been a coup d'etat in the country of Niger, also known as Niger or Niger. And this former French colony had a coup d'etat on Wednesday evening. And according to news is that the Niger President Mohamed Bazoum remained held in the presidential palace on Thursday, that is yesterday afternoon, and it was unclear who was in charge of the country after soldiers on Wednesday evening declared a military coup that sparked widespread condemnation. Now, that was news on Wednesday, but few minutes after this news came out, there was a TV broadcast from the capital Niamey. The TV broadcast was from the soldiers themselves. They said that they have suspended all institutions, they have suspended the constitution, and they have taken control of the country, and they have closed the borders of that country. And the other thing you need to know is that in this country, the landlocked country of Niger is a former French colony that has become a pivotal ally of Western powers seeking help to fight insurgencies. But they are facing growing acrimony from the new juntas, that is, other military rulers in neighboring Mali and Burkina Faso. And I'm going to show you what is happening in that part of Africa. Because when Mali had this coup d'etat back in 2021, and later on in 2022, they had two of them actually. The military leaders there, or the junta, also known as junta, asked the French army, the French troops that were in Mali, 9,000 of them, to leave Mali. Of course, after protest from France, they left, and they all went and set their base in this country of Niger. Later on, there were some other troops from Germany, also based in Burkina Faso and Mali, pretending to be fighting the same enemy, that is the insurgents. Now, the two countries also again asked them to leave, and guess where these troops went? They went to this country, Niger. So Niger has been the ally of Western countries when they are kicked out of the neighboring countries of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Equatorial. Was it not Equatorial Guinea, but Guinea-Conakry? Remember, Guinea-Conakry had a coup d'etat. Then Mali had two of them back to back, and later on Burkina Faso followed in the Malian footsteps and also had a coup d'etat led by military leaders. And later on, the same leaders or the military rulers who had started the coup, they were removed by junior military officers in another coup. So two coup d'etat within the same year. And then here we are in Niger having another similar coup d'etat. And all the troops in those countries are saying one thing. They are saying that the civilian rulers or the civilian leaders there are not working hard to fight these Islamic jihadists. They're also not paying the soldiers on time. They're also working for Western countries, and in this case France, and refusing to protect the citizens of their country. That is what they said. Now, this is what most countries said after that coup d'etat happened. And it's funny that the country that gave us the name coup d'etat, which is France, inspires the same thing, coup d'etat, because most former French colonies in Africa are the countries that are most vulnerable to this kind of unconstitutional coup d'etats. Coup d'etat, because the word coup means to strike in French. Coup d'etat, I think, to strike against authority. So coup d'etat is French word, it's more French, and countries that were colonized, the Francophone countries, are the most vulnerable when it comes to coup d'etats. But let's read. So once it happened, France, the country's former colonial power, and West African regional bloc, the ECOWAS, they called for the President Bazoum's immediate release, Mohamed Bazoum, and return to constitutional order. They always do that. They always issue this kind of statement. Then the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov also said that constitutional order should be restored. Then there was the US Vice President Kamala Harris saying that cooperation with the Niger government was contingent on its continued commitment to democratic standards. And then the US also said that taking action at the United Nations Security Council to de-escalate the situation in this country. So that is the statement. A lot of countries and a lot of organizations, regional blocs, have come forward to condemn this act. So they are doing the same thing that they did when Mali had a coup d'etat. I can show you the map here. This is Mali. They've had 2 coup d'etats in the recent times within the last 3 years, and both of them, the first coup d'etat removed the civilian rule. So there's a lot of coup d'etats happening in this region. One, because they were colonized by the French. That's one thing they share in common. 2, they are faced by a bigger threat of Islamic jihadis trying to take over these countries. 3, there's engraved rampant corruption in all these countries. So the leaders there are protected by France because they are friendly to the French government and they pay their colonial tax. So the people there, they don't want to see that. So that's why there's these coup d'etats led by militaries, and people come pour into the streets to celebrate the coup d'etats. For example, what the media will not show you is that a lot of people in this country, Niger, are celebrating in the streets. A lot of people, there have been massive support. They poured into the streets and came to basically celebrate with the people who have the soldiers. So you can see in this video, a lot of people are there celebrating that the soldiers have removed the president from power. Look, these people, they have come out of the National Assembly. They are celebrating coup d'etat, Nova Prade coup d'etat, whatever that means, but it's a form of celebration. Look, everyone is happy. The same thing happened in Guinea-Conakry. The same thing happened in Mali twice. That is one of the reasons or the things that Western media will never tell you, that they support these governments. These governments oppress the people in their own country, and the soldiers get tired of pretending, so they remove these bad civilian, corrupt, and Western puppet governments. And once they do that, the people support the soldiers. They get massive support from across the country. They are supported regardless of the religion in those countries, or regardless of the tribes and communities in those countries. As you can see, these are people who have come forward to basically show their support. And as you can see from this map here, these are the countries we are talking about. They have had a coup d'etat in Sudan. There's one in Chad that almost, happened. There's the one in now this country here, Nigeria. They have not had a coup d'etat for a while, and so on and so on.